No! Wait!
You must die now.
No, please! I have a family! I have kids!
You have fought honorably, but you must die. It is the only way.
No! Before we get to today's video, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Guns of Glory. Do you want to play a legendary game and win rewards, including my merchandise? Guns of Glory is an epic strategy mobile game which is set in an alternate history on the European continent. What happens to the man in the iron mask? What is the ultimate dark secret? Reveal it by yourself by playing the game today. Prepare for naval and air forces with your own steampunk-like airship and cannons. Now let's go, Captain. After the Renaissance, Europe witnessed a great revolution in technology. While people are liberated from ignorance, the dark forces such as vampires and witches retreated to seclusion. But the dark forces will never surrender, and they conspire dirty deals with the cardinal to overthrow the throne. You, the musketeer, must start the troop training, city management, and resources collection to build up the king's power. A war between justice and evil is on the rim. This game is like a movie that you're a part of. You get to develop your city, train your troops, go to battle, and use different war strategies to win. And you get to see what happens when firearms meet magic. I wish we could just do that on this channel. If we had real magic, I would just do firearms mixed with magic for every video. That's probably what I would do. You can socialize in your alliances, you can play with your friends in your game. Also, you can join my alliance. It's called the Demolition. They have immersive world settings and timeline, and you can challenge yourself in the Ramparts minigame. All you have to do is download Guns of Glory using the link in the description below. Use my creator code to redeem an in-game starter pack for plenty of resources. New users only, first come, first serve. And my merch giveaway. If you download Guns of Glory now using my link in the description below, you'll automatically be entered into the giveaway. Check your in-game messages for updates. Thanks so much to Guns of Glory for sponsoring this episode of Demolition Ranch. Welcome to Demolition Ranch. I bet you were a little confused and you're like, man, am I watching Tom Cruise in Last Samurai now? Because this guy's got some skills, but it was just me. Surprise. Okay, today we're doing a little bit of samurai stuff, which is something we've kind of thought about doing forever. I just always felt bad. Let me tell you why. Okay, check this out. This is a samurai sword, right? It's freaking awesome. This is the scabbard. Do they still call it with samurai swords? I don't know. This is a samurai sword. You can tell because of the way that it is. So this is actually a really cheap one, as can be seen by how much just that intro chewed up the blade. I bought this samurai sword at a pawn shop, man, about 5 years ago. It was $35. I just saw it. I was like, I don't have a samurai sword and I want a samurai sword. And so I bought it and was super pumped about it. And I just bought it for decoration. I just hung it on the wall in the barn for a long time because my wife wouldn't let me have it in the house. I'm not mad about it. So then someone asked me, they said they make samurai swords, and they were like, hey, I'd love to send you a custom demolition out of focus. Come on, you can do it. I believe it's just focusing on the trees and the reflection. Just take my word for it. It says Demolition Ranch. Can you read that? Demolition Ranch samurai sword. So it also got dinged up when we were fighting, but about half the amount that one did. So it already tells me it is better steel, or at least something is better, higher quality than my pawn shop samurai sword. But he sent this to me with the intention of having me destroy it. And I just felt so bad because it I don't know, it's a Demolition Ranch samurai sword, and you could tell he spent a lot of care making it, and I was excited to have another samurai sword. And then the comments just keep saying, Matt, split a bullet, Matt, shoot a sword, Matt. And so we're gonna probably just shoot these samurai swords. This guy sent this to me so long ago, I actually looked for his email and couldn't find his name. So, whoever you are, thank you. Thank you. You're a worthy friend. I love you. But first, before we shoot the swords, we're gonna check their chopping abilities, because that's what they're made for. We're gonna do a little testing. It's called cheap sword, expensive sword, and see how it works out. This is, of course, cheap sword. White handle, cheap sword. Against Gord. Wow, cheap sword didn't even hit it. Okay, that actually sliced pretty good. All right, I'm gonna work on my aim a little bit. It's so cheap, it really makes it really hard to aim is what's happening here. Freaking impossible to aim. Okay, let's just try expensive sword. Test is going really well so far. Oh, right through the middle. Expensive sword's where it's at. Okay, that was much better. Test number 2. Cheap sword, watermelon. All right, I did feel a lot of friction going through that watermelon. It was not as smooth as I think the expensive sword will be, but it did cut it. It did cut it right in half. Okay, that was better. Expensive sword, 2. Cheap sword is cheap, 0. Round 3, basketball. Cheap sword, a fielder, did not cut it in half. Expensive sword. Tie. This is a test like there's a zombie coming at us, but I don't want to get close to him because I might get the infection. So I throw it. That's his guts leaking out. And expensive sword. Sorry, zombie scum! Oh, I forgot. I got the virus all over me. Dang it, I didn't think about that. I'm just walking around, looking around. Oh no! Zombie scum, gotcha. At further evaluation, this is the cheap sword that hit this one. Still full. This is the expensive sword. They look about the same. No, this damage is worse, but definitely flat. I'm gonna try to stab this one with the expensive one. Hey. Expensive sword. For the win. Gotcha. Cheap sword is already falling apart. Oh yeah. Here's what we're thinking. We got him in a vise, lined up to where the bullets will come straight in here to the blade edge. So we'll shoot cheap first, and then expensive, assuming I can do similar hits, which is assuming a lot, because I think it's even gonna be hard to just see those from scooting back to a safe distance. Got this shooting table right here, and I was planning on sitting back here and shooting the swords on the edge. They're in that vise, but they're like freaking invisible. And now you can see them when I zoom in, but guess what my eyes can't do? Zoom in. Some of our pew-pews today have scopes on them. Actually, just one. All of them are red dots except for one. We're just gonna probably have to shoot a lot of ammo and see if we can hit anything. It's gonna be great. We're shooting 9mm first. I'm gonna shoot cheap one, which is on the right, and then expensive, which is on the left. I'm gonna try to hit it. This thing obviously has a red dot and not a zooming scope, so I can't, like the dot just covers up the thing. We're gonna see what we can do, and it probably won't function very good because when you put weight on this mag, which I'm doing so I can have a little more stabilization, it doesn't always run right. Going for the cheap one. I think that was a miss. Those are both misses, and I don't know where it was missing. It's such a thin little thing. So I'm gonna put a piece of duct tape on the back so that I'll be able to, 1, see if I hit it, and 2, if I don't, I'll know which direction I'm missing. Okay. Just like the samurais did it for their testing. Okay, let's see if this tape helps or not. Did I not even hit the tape? What's happening? We missed. I hit the tape, but I need to pull it over to the left so I can hit the sword. I can't see anything. So that was a hit right there. That was my first shot. I pulled it over a little left, and it hit here and then directed it back over to the right. But you can see the edge. It did bend it a little bit. Not bad, though. So that's impressive. The sword hitting it bent it more than the 9mm hitting it. Let's shoot the expensive one. All right, on to the expensive sword. I'm gonna aim a little left again. Pretty wimpy looking. So if you look at it right here, you can see that bullet skimmed it there, pushed it left, hit here. 9mm both did not do much to our sword. No deforming on the tip of the sword with a 9mm. Okay, we're doing 45 ACP now, which is a big, slow, heavy round. I think we got this thing sighted in fairly good. This is also a 1X, even though it's longer, it's still a 1X. It actually looks even smaller when I look through the scope. Very far away. Okay, we're going for cheap first. Not sure where that went. Fire a few rounds. first two went left, I pulled it over to the right, and then it hit here, came down there, went through there. We haven't split one exactly on there yet. Like this one went a little over, this one goes a little over, but majority went on this side. But still didn't deform it any. I'm gonna actually try to shoot one more and see if I can get it a little more in the middle there. All right, I'm gonna pull it over to the right a little more. That one hit right on the 9mm spot. That's exactly where it was. So it hit here and then went out there, and you can tell it bent it. I mean, that one did hit on the middle. Still impressive for the cheap sword. We're gonna go expensive sword now. All right, at the expensive one this time. Right in here, it looks just the same. A little, I mean, there's no bend there, and it looks like we hit it just as good as we did this one, which has a pretty good bend. Can't feel anything. It's looking like it's stronger, but it's negligible. This is freaking hard to hit. I think I'm just gonna get some big, fat round to fly down range of this now. 12 gauge shotgun slug. That's a 1 ounce slug. A big, fat piece of metal flying down range with a pretty high velocity. Giant slug will make it easier to hit that target, but the actual platform, just a 12 gauge shotgun that we've never really sighted in for accuracy, is gonna make it a little more difficult. I think I just need to aim a little bit. Yeah, just kind of wing it. All right, we're going at the cheap sword first. So that is our first split, which is why I want to do 12 gauge, because it's much easier to split. Hit right there. You can see it ripped off the tape on both sides. It went just a little bit back. I mean, that's a pretty good hit. You can see that it hit metal on both sides there. It bent the tip down. So now, assuming I can do that same thing on this one, we'll be able to see which sword is better. I am impressed that it didn't like mess it up more though. I still kind of was wondering if any of these would actually break the sword. All right, going at expensive sword now. We're gonna have to shoot that one again because it only hit the left side here. So you can see it touched it there, only hit that left side. It's really actually hard to see in the camera. Nothing on the right side, but yeah, I don't think we hit the tip on that one. I want to touch the tip. Dude, this one's perfect. So all the tape's blown off here. You can see it split there on both sides. Did not even try to bend that metal at all. Still perfect. Can't even feel it. Perfect, perfect. Let's take this thing out and look at it. So you can see that side, scratch there, looks just like that side. Scratch there, which means we put that slug right over there. It cut it in half, and the slug pieces kept moving in 2 pieces instead of 1. So we still didn't break either sword. I have an idea. I have an idea. This is a Barrett. It's a 50 BMG. Shoots a big old bullet. I thought we could like aim it and try to hit it like right on the sword, but like for a Barrett, you want to be further back because it's scary. So then I was like, instead of aiming it, what if we just put it really close and tie a string to it and we go back really far away? I'm smarter than I look. Okay, so we have the cheap sword right here at the muzzle brake of the Barrett M82A1. 50 BMG. 50 cal. 50. Have I told you it's a 50? It's a 50 cal. I'm gonna put that in there, right there. We're gonna aim. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, we can do this. Okay, and then I have the box around it because I kind of want to see, one, if the sword goes flying, how much damage does it have? 2, if the sword breaks in half, how much damage does pieces have? And 3, if the sword stays there, it doesn't fly in half, but it cuts the bullet in half, where those bullet pieces go. So we have a fresh piece of cardboard, no holes in it. Let's put some holes in it. 50 BMG with a string while we're behind cover this dually. Boom. Had to have missed, right? Like, how is it still standing? I must have pulled it off enough that it didn't hit this thing. Let's try it again. Here's our answer as to what happened. There's our bullet hole right there. So that thing went straight through there, no problem at all. And then the blast blew that, and the side blast blew this one. So we did not cut a bullet in half. We did not even hit our sword. Oh wait, we did hit the sword right here, I think. I think that is our 50 cal right there. It tipped it. So you can see right there, we kissed it with a 50 BMG, which is right at the level it would have hit, but we had somehow pulled it off. Try to be real gentle this time and see what we can do. 50 BMG, cheap sword, round 2. Sword is gone. I see at least 2 pieces of this sword. Weird, I didn't think I would like bend it over like that. That's strange. Dude. Okay, so here's what happened. So this must have pushed it like this, knocked it over, bent it this way until it snapped, and the bullet carried on. Dude, look at the cardboard. I don't know. I don't know what happened with the cardboard. So the thing to find out now is, did this happen because this is a cheap sword and we need to try it with an expensive sword? We now have the expensive sword downrange of a 50 BMG out of the M82 Barrett. Okay, we're gonna go back down there behind cover again. So place your predictions in the comments below. Is this expensive sword gonna do any better against a 50 BMG than the $35 pawn shop samurai sword? 50 BMG, expensive sword, round 1. Firing. Look, almost fell over, too scared. Yeah, she gone. So, looks like we have very similar results. That one chopped it so fast that it didn't even pull it out. Like, it was not stuck hard in the ground. It was like that. And you saw me pull it up like that. And it still didn't rip it out of the ground, meaning that 50 is going so fast and has so much energy, it just chops it all in half without really transferring much energy. We're missing a piece too. Oh no, we're missing a tiny chunk right where that 50 cal hit. So that tells you right there, this sword is way harder than the other one because the other one bent a lot and all the pieces were still there. This one, it exploded right here where that 50 cal hit it and then just cracked and is not bent. So it is a better sword, but still cannot measure up against a 50 BMG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this episode of Demolition Ranch. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, holler at me. Maybe we need to try some other swords. We did the giant man with the giant sword video before, and it did very well. And if you guys like swords, hit me up. Maybe we'll do like a knight's sword. Maybe we'll do like a Viking sword. We'll do like a, I don't know what kind of other swords there are. But you guys hit me up if you want to see some other swords. I'll do them. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Demolition Ranch. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Contact line! It's quite simple. There's only one rule in the Demolition. You don't tell Mayor.